Hello people who cannot sit at home, thank you so much for being here. So this video is the video number 3 of cool towns in Ontario. And the reason why I'm doing this video, well, mainly because of course Ontario has a lot of cool towns. But not only that, the first and the second video of the cool towns of Ontario did amazingly well. I'm gonna link them down below. And you definitely should check out those videos after this video. But before we go any further, I wanted to talk to you about my books. So there are 3 books right now: the day trips in the summer, weekend trips in the summer, and fall winter. And not only that, there's gonna be another book coming out very shortly. It's gonna be all about free destinations in Ontario. It will be released in early April. So without further ado, let's go. The first cool town that I want to talk to you about is Stratford, which is about an hour and a half northwest of Toronto. And over here we started our trip with Wild Hog. It's an amazing market. You have to check it out. Lots of baked good, lots of gourmet market stuff. And there's also a place to sit on the main floor and even on the upper floor. Everything in here was so yummy. Highly recommend this place for sure. Stratford Perth Museum is another amazing destination to check out while in Stratford. Currently they have Justin Bieber exhibit, and there's a lot of elements from his life. His grandparents still live in the town, and he used to actually play in Stratford, kind of on the streets, and it's so adorable, and the museum is really well done. Definitely lovely to check it out. So over here is the downtown Stratford, very pretty. During the summer, of course, there is the festival. During the winter is they have lights on Stratford, but all throughout the year what they have is the chocolate trail, which is what we got. It's about $40 and you get 6 places, different chocolate places, to exchange your 6 tickets. And over here is Rio Thompson Chocolatier, and highly recommend this specifically. Really great chocolates. Even if you don't do the chocolate trail, you need to check it out. The Little Prince is a very unique, very tiny movie theater. You can rent it out, but you do need to do it, kind of pre-book it. When we were there at the time, they had a little party happening, but everything inside is very adorable from the old times. Antiques in Time is another amazing store you need to check out while in Stratford. Everything about this place is vintage and beautiful and from the long time ago. It's essentially a place where they of course sell vintage clocks, but they also fix it. So if you have some kind of an heirloom that you need fixed, you can for sure take it over here. Overall, it just felt like a museum with all of these beautiful clocks. Over here is the Julie Hotel. It's a beautiful hotel. When you're in Stratford, you have to stay here. Everything in here is just very dramatic and gorgeous. There are 9 suites and each of them are so beautiful. When you go on their website, you will see what I mean. Each of them has this dramatic feel, absolutely beautiful interior design, yet they're all somewhat different. And the Julie Hotel actually has a whole show on Crave. It's called Staying In Hotel Julie. You have to check it out also if you're gonna go and stay here. So this place is called Whatever 75. We went here in the morning. It's very funky, very colorful, perfect place for breakfast, but you can also do, of course, lunch or dinner in here. And the food was great and the service was excellent. We enjoyed Stratford so much, highly recommend it, definitely a cool town. So the second cool town I want to talk to you about is Hamilton. Over here we rented a Swimply. So what Swimply is, it's an app. I'm going to link it down below, and you essentially rent pools. So of course in the winter time you can only rent the indoor pool, which is what they had, only one actually, and it was lovely. But during the summertime you can rent an outdoor pool in Hamilton. There are definitely a lot of options. Next place you need to check out in Hamilton, this is absolutely for free, is the Gage Park Greenhouses. In my opinion, it's one of the best greenhouses in Ontario. Free to enter, recently renovated, very beautiful. Here we are at the Hamburger Crown Point. It is a really creative restaurant, bar, and we had lunch here. I specifically had a burger, and my boyfriend had chicken burger and fries. And another thing that I wanted to really sample over here is their popcorn with bacon and just like greenery. It was so good. And here's my burger, very creative. I absolutely love when food places approach food with creativity, and this is that place. It seemed like so many items on the menu were interesting and curious. I would love to come back here again when I am in Hamilton next time. Another place you need to check out, Tim Hortons Museum. I'm gonna link the location down below. It's essentially where the first Tim Hortons opened a long time ago in 1967, I believe. And on the second floor, first floor is just the regular Tim Hortons, and on the second floor you will have a bit of a museum, a bit of a homage to the old days. And they take you through essentially from like the 60s all the way to the current times. And you can see what they started out with. Definitely it was a bit different looking, like the butterflies and eclairs versus what the donuts that we have right now. And then the museum covers just the different uniforms. For example, one of the first uniforms had a bonnet, which is so fascinating. And it goes all the way to future and what the future uniforms are going to be. I love visiting Hamilton. It definitely has a number of places and things to check out. And we're gonna start our Port Perry adventure with Willow Tree Farm, which is about 15 minutes before Port Perry. It's a little closer to the city. And it's just a really gorgeous farm. You have the inside market, indoor market, and then you have an outdoor area over here for the Halloween. They had like a whole almost wall of pumpkins, but right next to it they also have totally free animal little zoo, kind of like little farm. And there are pigs, there are bunnies, there are goats. They kind of have this structure that they get to walk above so that everybody can enjoy seeing them. And here we are in the main street, Port Perry. It is really beautiful. It's not a very big town. You can definitely cover it in a day. I would say you need about 2-3 hours for Port Perry. Lots of places. Over here we're getting some donuts at Frank's Pastries. There's definitely a lot to choose from. I highly recommend. They had this, I think it was called Death by Chocolate, and it was so good. This lasted me actually 2 days. I split it in half because it was so rich and so huge. Like, just look at all of the insides. Oh my gosh. They do not joke in there. Definitely amazing. Another place to check out in Port Perry is Branching Out Floral. Just really beautiful home decors. If you need any kind of home decor items or kind of dried flowers or beautiful toys, most of these are Ontario made, like locally made. So it's great to support the local community and of course beautiful flowers. The marina of Port Perry is also adorable. There's a number of chairs that you can relax and look at the water. POE Design is very close by the water. It just has a really large collection of very hilarious home decor items and stylish as well, of course. And another place you need to check out is Old Flame Brewing. They have on the weekend musicians. Just check out their website to make sure that it's happening. This guy's name was JJ Thompson, really talented. I really enjoyed the music, and we also got a charcuterie board. It was definitely a very great way to end the Port Perry visit day. Number 4 cool town to check out is the Ingersoll/Woodstock, because they're very close to each other. So Ingersoll, the thing about Ingersoll is that it's all about the cheese trail, Oxford County Cheese Trail. There is even a museum. The museum was free. You can just wander around, learn about the cheeses and how it was done. And then for this trip, you need to make sure that you bring a cooler. I thought I'm not gonna buy any cheese, but I ended up buying a lot of cheese on this trip. So over here is the Red Dragon Dairy. They are specifically known for their cheese curds, and you can also sample. At least when we were there was just a tray and you can sample. But for all of these places, all of these cheese places, if you ask them for samples, they will be more than happy to give you samples. And usually I ask for their kind of best sellers. Over here we're at the Guns Hill Artisanal Cheese. It's another amazing place you need to check out. There's a lot of creativity happening here, as you can see. Inside, same idea. You can sample, you can ask for different cheeses. Another thing that a lot of these cheese places do is they have tours, but they're only on a specific time in the summer. So check their corresponding websites for the tour. And outside of the Guns Hill, you will have the cheese statue over here and even a cow statue. So for the Woodstock, there is an antique mall. It's called One of a Kind Antique Mall. It is huge. You can spend a whole day here. I actually suggest if, for example, you want to spend like a rainy day, rainy weekend, to go here. Obviously, if you're into antiques and vintage stuff. Basically, a large amount of antique. For me specifically, I love that they had a number of vendors with unique vintage Barbies, which I really love. Number 5 cool town in Ontario is Almer. This is, I would say, about an hour and a half, 2 hours west of Toronto. And the first place I want you to check out when you go there is Clovermead. It is a beautiful farm. It's all about bees and honey and candles and things like that. They even have a competition for the best bee beard, which is very interesting. It would be very fun to check it out. You can sample honey over here and buy any kind of honey possible. They have a lot of flavors. Another place you need to check out in Almer is the Old Imperial Farmers Market, a really beautiful market, fairly, as I understand, fairly recently opened. Lots of items from skincare to sweets to home decor to jewelry, things like that. So Almer is known for their Mennonite community, and over here is the Mennonex, which is essentially Mexican Mennonite store. It basically takes you to Mexico. It's definitely very unique, lots of Mexican items and Mexican flag, and they even have at the back burrito stand that you can get your burritos and enchiladas, which were, by the way, amazing. So definitely a gem that you need to check out. Grandma's Oven is an amazing bakery and cafe, very unique taste, especially their cookies over there. I got the peanut butter and the marshmallow one, very unique. I never had anything like this anywhere else. And Almer is very close to Lake Erie. This is Port Bruce, and what I found the most interesting is that they had like a huge chunk of ice at the end of the pier. And yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure how that formed, but it was very unique. Another unique place you need to check out in Almer is the Skyway Cafe Tilsonburg. This is slightly off, but maybe it's like 15 minutes away from Almer. But the thing about this is that it's a cafe, which by the way has some great food, and it has airplanes landing. So when we were there, for some reason there was not a single airplane, but I think that was just an one-off day. Especially we were here in the winter, so I think in the summer it's definitely going to be more active. At least that's what it is on the reviews, on Google reviews. Seems like it's a very active airport and a beautiful way to kind of do the breakfast and check out some airplanes. Another thing in Almer that is very unique is that they have a whole church, and it's an Airbnb that you can stay at. I definitely thought that was very unusual, booked it. The price of it I think is very reasonable. And yeah, it's essentially a 19th century church that has been kind of changed, but at the same time it honors its history. It does have kind of the same elements that the church had, except that where the altar is, for example, we have a whole kitchen over there and a stove and dishwasher. Definitely incredibly unique, and you're probably wondering where you would sleep. So there's a second level over here. I'm showing you. There's a bed, queen size bed that you can sleep at. Lindsay is our number 6 cool town in Ontario. And over here we're starting in downtown Lindsay. It is a fairly small city, but it is very adorable and has a number of cool things that I want to talk to you about. So first, if you go down the main street, there's a lot of home decor stores, all of which I have really loved. Then also pretty central in downtown Lindsay, this is the Corner Bites Eatery. And what they are great for are scones, in my opinion at least, because I had 2 and they were absolutely amazing. I had blueberry and cranberry, both were great. But you can also sit down, it's just a great breakfast and lunch place. Another thing that I absolutely loved about Lindsay is that there's a lot of parks that are by the river. So if you look at the map, there's literally a number of them. I've been to about 3, and this one is my favorite one. This is called Old Mill Park. Parking is free and to visit is free, and it has this really cool kind of modern renovated boardwalk that you can enjoy the nature, enjoy the park. And then I noticed that there's a number of fish as I was coming closer to the actual Old Mill ruins. And then I realized that there's a lot more fish.
This is insane. I've never seen anything like this. Look at this. Look at the amount.
It seemed like with every minute more and more fish were coming up to me. I don't think they were coming up to me. I think they were coming up to the waterfall. And but nonetheless, it was really cool. Like at one point, everything became fish. I was a little scared. I was not sure what to do. I was the only one over there, and I was pretty surprised. As I have posted this online on TikTok, I have found out that from locals that this is carp, and they actually spawn over here, and they come here every spring. And this was May 6th, and basically it seems like the spawning of the carp is kind of the sign for the town people that the spring is here. So this is the kind of the water dam slash waterfall that the fish are at. Over here are the ruins, which is, by the way, right next to that waterfall. Kind of cool, definitely interesting to see. You cannot go in there because it's all kind of blocked off, but they're beautiful. So over here I continued walking and just exploring kind of this waterfront, boardwalk. It was really, again, really beautifully done. The actual boardwalk and the actual kind of river is really pretty. Over here is kind of like a whirlpool of water. If you stand in this spot specifically, you feel like you're gonna get swept off your feet with the water, but of course not. And at one point I was enjoying this walk so much, I actually sat down sort of kind of under the bridge to just relax and just looking at the water. And then I noticed that there's a little baby carp right here, right by the edge, which was really cool to see. So another thing I want to talk to you about is the secondhand store. It's called Vicky's Values. I actually really enjoyed the store. First of all, there's a huge discount on of the blue items, which I actually didn't see a single blue item. And over here is all of the prices. Most of the tops are already $4. So not that I needed the 75% off, but I mean, it would have been nice. I think people know when those color codes are going to go on sale and everything gets sold out in a second. So the interesting thing about this place is that it's kind of like a school. It's a long hallway with a bunch of different rooms, and each room has different things. The very last room over here has a bunch of bins. You get to dig through it, but it actually has some cool things you can definitely dig through, and it's only $1 per piece. Over here I'm showing you the jewelry they have, and yes, if you can believe it, it's only $1 per piece. And I got actually 3 things. Really love this kind of vintagey earrings, but they have the hoops on them, which I don't really wear that kind of style, but they are really beautiful. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know your thoughts about it. Let me know of any other cool cities that I should check out and possibly do a video. Thank you so much for being here. Please subscribe, like, and share, and I will see you next time. Bye. It will be released in early April. It will be released in early... It will be released in early... It will be released